Do you guys remember one of the main promises Donald Trump was making to get himself elected again? It was that he was going to bring law and order back to the United States of America. That he was going to right the ship and make sure that our court system and our DOJ wasn't being weaponized to go after political foes. Now, if you follow me on this channel, you already know this is all just a load of hogwash. And what we've seen instead is Donald Trump is weaponizing the DOJ like no other president has done it before. I mean, he is literally making Richard Nixon look like an angel in comparison. And we are really crossing over into some new dangerous territory because Donald Trump is now forcing out attorneys that he appointed because they aren't willing to fabricate evidence against his perceived enemies. If you guys do appreciate my work and want to support the show, please do remember to subscribe.
We've got some breaking news tonight that the U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia, Eric Seibert, has told his office he is resigning after increasing pressure from Donald Trump. Sources tell MSNBC that staffers in the office were distraught at the news, some even crying when they found out. Now, Seibert's resignation comes as Donald Trump has become increasingly frustrated that Seibert would not prosecute the New York Attorney General Letitia James on trumped-up mortgage fraud charges. He had refused to charge because his investigation could not bear out the accusations. The resignation came after Trump was asked directly about the issue in the Oval Office just a few hours ago and said, quote, "I want him out."
Are you disappointed that the U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia has not prosecuted Letitia James? Do you intend to fire him?
Well, we're going to see what happens. I am not following it very closely. It looks to me like she's very guilty of something, but I really don't know. I know that the U.S. Attorney from the Eastern District, or from that district in Virginia, that he was approved by two Democrat senators who, in my opinion, are among the worst.
You want him fired? You want him out?
Yeah, I want him out, yeah.
So do you guys notice how Trump does this? Anytime he's asked about these corrupt dealings, anytime he's asked about weaponizing the DOJ against his political foes, he always does this thing where, I don't know much about that. I haven't really been following that. So you mean to tell me that the president of the United States knows exactly what is going on with all of these different late night hosts, all the people on social media that are making fun of him or criticizing him? He knows all about what's going on there, but he has no idea that his own appointments are being forced out because they're not willing to go along with trumped up charges? I mean, who is buying this shit, guys? Who is buying this shit? I mean, it is one thing to have the president go out there and list individuals for investigation. That is way outside the bounds of normality all by itself. But now you have the president of the United States who's opening investigations into somebody like Letitia James. And when they can't find the evidence to prove these crimes, and you have an attorney that is not willing to pursue them because there is no evidence, Donald Trump is forcing him out? I mean, this is insane, guys. Basically, what Donald Trump is saying is that, well, my guy, he wasn't willing to fabricate evidence. He wasn't willing to fabricate charges. So I want him out. And it's not stopping there because he's now going after Pam Bondi for similar reasons.
Donald Trump is calling out his own Attorney General, Pam Bondi, for a lack of legal action by the DOJ in prosecuting his own perceived enemies. He posted just last hour, quote, "Pam, I have reviewed over 30 statements and posts saying that essentially same old story as last time, all talk, no action, nothing is being done. What about Comey, Adam Shifty Schiff, Letitia, question mark, question mark, question mark? They're all guilty as hell, but nothing is going to be done. We can't delay any longer. It's killing our reputation and credibility."
I mean, what are we doing here, guys? This is the president of the United States. He's looking on social media. He's looking at people in the MAGA base calling him out because they want all these different arrests. He's calling out people by name, Adam Schiff, Letitia James, James Comey, saying that why isn't anything being done about these guys? Why aren't these guys in handcuffs? Why aren't these guys in jail yet? What is going on, Pam Bondi? Are you gonna persecute these people? Are you going to prosecute these people even though there hasn't been any evidence that a crime has been committed? I mean, that is what Donald Trump is asking for here. This is what weaponization of the Justice Department looks like. He's literally asking his attorney general to go after his enemies. The attorney general is supposed to operate independent of the executive branch, because we understood that we didn't want the executive, we didn't want the president to be wielding the biggest law enforcement apparatus against his political enemies. We set it up this way for a reason. Donald Trump whined and whined and whined, said that Joe Biden was doing this to him, even though there was no evidence that that was the case, said he was going to bring law and order back to this country. But what is he doing instead? He is acting like the authoritarian wannabe that he has always been. He is taking the full weight of the federal government, and he is trying to persecute, without any evidence, his perceived enemies. This is exactly what he whined about. This is exactly what people in the MAGA base were whining about. And now they have turned around, they have flipped the script. Every accusation is a confession with these assholes. And now people are under the gun of the federal government because Donald Trump said so. And the crazy part about this whole Eric Siebert story is that it was Donald Trump's own loyalists who said there just wasn't enough evidence to prosecute.
Yeah, highly frightening. As you said, two people looked at this and said, there is not enough evidence to charge her. And that's just two people at the top. I'm sure all the under people like...
And also, I hate to say it, but two kind of Trump loyalists, right? I mean, it's like, it's one thing if they were objective, but people who are appointed by Trump, who are willing to say to this, to the president, we've got nothing. We don't have a leg to stand on.
Had clearly already gotten the message. We want to arrest her. We want to see her bracelets. We want to put her on trial. And they can't find, we can't do it. Yeah. There's no case against her. Still keep trying. That's dictatorship.
Yeah, he's exactly right. This is what petty little dictators do. This is what, you know, the tin bot dictators do. Whatever. Sorry to reuse my words there. But you've got Pam Bondi, a Trump loyalist. You got Todd Blanche, super Trump loyalist, somebody who used to be Donald Trump's personal attorney, looked at the evidence, looked at the case and said, hey, there's just not enough evidence for us to bring a case against Letitia James. His own people. What does that tell you guys? Donald Trump is wanting to go after these people whether there is evidence that exists or not. He is weaponizing the Justice Department like we have never seen before. And Ellie Honig, somebody who's been a little bit more deferential to Trump, he makes a really good point here, saying that firing these attorneys doesn't make your case any stronger.
It's an ultimatum of sorts to the Attorney General, right? I mean, it doesn't take a lot to understand what he's saying here. I think everyone should understand that replacing the U.S. Attorney in Eastern District of Virginia, or even maybe, I mean, I'm not saying this is going to happen, but hypothetically replacing Pam Bondi, none of that improves the evidence in your case. Right. And the reason that Todd Blanche, who's he was by Trump's side, defended him at the criminal trial. The reason Todd Blanche is not on board with this is because he was a prosecutor right here in New York, and he knows you're going to have to go to a grand jury. You're going to have to, if you can somehow get past the grand jury, and we don't know the evidence really on Letitia James. I mean, we would just be speculating, but he knows enough to know. Then you're going to have to go to a judge. Then you're going to have to go to a jury. Then you're going to have to go to an appeal. And look, Todd was raised the same way I was, almost the same time at the SDNY. And you don't bring a case if you don't have the goods. So
this is the beauty of our system, guys. This is how it is supposed to work. You first have probable cause. You can launch an investigation. The investigators, they go find evidence. They build a case together. You bring it before a grand jury to see if there's enough evidence to actually bring charges. Then it's got to go in front of a jury if it ends up going to trial. I mean, we have built this system in very, what's the right word here? In a very calculated way. We built the system that we have. It is one of the envies of the world, the way that our system of law operates. Because we understood that we didn't want the government to be able to have the power to just start throwing people in jail based on all of this trumped up evidence. Our system was designed this way for a reason. And now you've got the president of the United States who is forcing out his own people because they are not willing to fabricate evidence. against people that Donald Trump doesn't like. I mean, that is just absolutely insane, guys. I just don't know any way to put it. This is what Donald Trump was railing against. This is what Donald Trump was whining about. But every accusation is a confession with these folks. Now, the one thing that's been kind of an offshoot of this, you've got Donald Trump directing investigations, working hand in hand with Attorney General Pam Bondi, which shouldn't be happening in the first place. He's directing investigations. He's giving targets for the DOJ. They're trying to go open investigations. They're trying to bring evidence. You know, in the Letitia James case, there wasn't enough evidence to actually bring a case, and Pam Bondi and Todd Blanche actually called that out. But what happens when these people actually go along? When these Trump sycophants actually want to bring these trumped up charges into an actual courthouse? Now, for now, our courts have still been working. And as a result of that, we are now getting grand juries that just refuse to return indictments.
We've seen in other places, and this has been a theme, prosecutors who do seem willing to go along with really, really dodgy prosecutions on really, really bad factual and legal foundations. That's happened in Los Angeles and District of Columbia. And in those cases, we've been seeing grand juries. I mean, I think there's 7 or 8 now doing the thing they never do, essentially, which is return a no true bill, right? The whole cliche about being able to indict a Sam sandwich. So in the places where you've had prosecutors seemingly go along with, which seem to be, frankly, political prosecutions, they've been hung out to dry by grand juries doing their democratic duty.
Which, as you say, happens basically never. But for whatever reason that something like this would occur, when we're talking about the professional judgment, is there sufficient evidence to indict as the Constitution requires? Yeah, that's one of the 26 bad things that could happen here is you bring these cases. Judges don't trust the department as much. The jury doesn't trust the department as much. But it's just more fundamental than that. Eric Siebert, raise your right hand. Tell the court that this person is guilty when it's a lie.
Right.
You really should throw your law license in the Potomac. Nothing could be worse than what they're trying to jam down his throat. So he would have walked, I think, even if they didn't make him run.
Now, I think I would call this a little bit of glimmer of hope in the dark times that we are currently living in. Something that doesn't really happen. You've got prosecutors bringing evidence to a grand jury, and those grand juries refusing to indict. This is a good sign. This is a good sign that our system was set up in a way to try to protect against the overreach of the executive. Now, I am hopeful that these types of juries will continue. I'm hoping that Donald Trump won't be able to get his grimy little fingers into more of our judicial system. But I mean, just like the guy with the guy who threw the sandwich. Jeanine Pirro, I think, tried to bring that felony case multiple times, and each time the grand jury looked at it and said, no way, no way. So if you guys have an opportunity to serve on a jury and you think that there are trumped-up charges coming down the pike, it is your patriotic duty to stand up and return no indictment. That's what I would have to say about that. We are just living in wild, wild times right now, where the President of the United States is directing people to basically fabricate evidence against people he doesn't like. It is absolutely bananas. Should not be happening in the United States. Luckily, our system is still holding in different areas. Hopefully it continues to hold. Hopefully Donald Trump won't be around much longer with his exploding ankles and his puffy face and his bruised hands. Maybe biology will win. But like I said, guys, we are in some scary times. This is not how our judicial branch is supposed to operate. This is not how our courts are supposed to operate. This is not how the DOJ is supposed to operate. But now we've got Trump, who has corrupted almost the entire system because he is such a petulant man baby that he wants to persecute his perceived enemies. He is the biggest beta bitch that I think I have ever seen. So I will leave it there for now, guys. If you guys got anything out of this video, please do remember to smash that like button and subscribe. Maybe share with a friend or two. I'd very much appreciate that. We've got to build something here on the left that pushes back against this right-wing media ecosystem that just launders all of this terrible behavior for Donald Trump day in and day out. So if you do like what I do here, please do remember to smash that subscribe button. Of course, that is free right here. And if you guys want to go a step above and beyond that and actually help me produce these videos, it would be so much help for sure. You can become a member right here on YouTube for as little as $3 a month, or you can jump over to politiscape.substack.com where you can have my content delivered directly to your inbox every single day without the doom scrolling, without the algorithms. And the cool thing about Substack is that I actually own that data over there. So if Donald Trump if he started targeting platforms like YouTube to tamp down on speech like ours, we would have some protection, at least some access over there. So until the next one, guys, take care of yourselves. I'll see you on the next one.